Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. Welcome to my first ever YouTube video. My name is Yazi, and pretty much what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to do my makeup and talk about Legend of Korra Season 1. So, I was always a really big Last Airbender fan back in the day, and I never watched Legend of Korra when it was, coming out live on Nickelodeon, because honestly, I tuned in for the very first season, the first 2 episodes, I think, and it wasn't clicking for me. But also, that's kind of around the time when I was kind of growing out of watching things on Nickelodeon to begin with. So, maybe I didn't give it its fair shot. But now that Netflix has finally made Avatar: Last Airbender available on Netflix US, I went back, watched the whole series and everything. Watched it twice actually, but don't tell anybody that. And so I decided now I'm gonna watch Legend of Korra, and I want to make videos about it. So if you want to hear me talk about Legend of Korra and do my makeup, then stay tuned. I want to make it clear, first off, that I am not a beauty channel, okay? Don't come here thinking I'm going to be telling you how to do your makeup or what products to use. I'm not trying to be in that community, I'm really just not. I'm just gonna do what I do, and you can do what you want to do, and then, we can just get along, okay? I think that's the best. I think that's in the best interest of everybody's mental health. And so yeah, don't come in my comments talking about, oh, you do this before this, or oh, you're using that, but I don't care. I don't care. You do what you want, and I'm gonna do what I want. Okay, I'm glad we can get past that now. So, alright, so I'm going to be talking about the characters in order that they appear, and then I'm going to talk about the villains, and then I'm going to talk about my overall opinions on the show, and, I guess just what I think of the season as a whole. I'm going to mix two. I'm not even literally dark at all, I'm so pale, look at me, but I still have to mix 2 BB creams to, get my shade of hair. Don't know what's going on. Anyway, so our title card narrator for the show is Tenzin, so I'm gonna do him first. I actually, I like Tenzin. I don't think anybody doesn't like Tenzin. It'd be really weird if you had a problem with him. He's really just trying his best out here. So yeah, I like that he's a narrator, and I think that, he's definitely Aang's son. You can tell his sense of responsibility and sense of duty to those around him and the world and stuff. He puts a lot on himself, and I think that, for better or for worse, that's what he does. He does kind of treat Korra like a child, but in all fairness, Korra really is a child, especially in this first season. Girl is a mess, let me tell you. Woo-wee. So I don't really have a problem with him treating her like a child if she's gonna act like a child, if you're just not gonna listen and you're just gonna say, I can do what I want even though I'm 14 years old and I've never been off the South Pole, I will get to Korra next. Anyway, I really like Tenzin. I like him as a father. I like him as a husband. He's a great person. He's a great character, and I think Aang would be really proud to see the man that he has become. Alright, so next. Okay. This girl. Korra's annoying. I don't know what else you want me to say about that. Korra is stressful. Korra don't listen to nobody. Korra don't care about nobody. Okay. It's not that she doesn't care about anybody but herself. That's not what the problem is. The problem is she doesn't think about the consequences of her actions. Because why? Because she's a child. She is kind of funny though, you know. She wrote up in Republic City and really just said like, shit, this girl gets chased by a blimp. Ain't been in the city 2 minutes. Ain't been in the city 2 minutes. And she's getting chased by a blimp. Like, oh my god. But I will say though, an issue that Korra has to face that I think is really interesting is the press. And I'm really glad that Aang never had to do that, because they would have like ate my boy up on some issues, and I'm not here for Aang slander. I take it to somebody else's home. I don't know, but I'm a ride for my man. I don't know about you, but yeah, not over here. Don't forget over here. Anyway, also, does nobody like brief Korra before she gets in front of the press? Because it seems like they really just throw her up there, which is so odd. Because like, knowing Tenzin, it's like, why wouldn't he tell her, like give her some coaching? Like, I don't. She needs HR. The Avatar needs HR. Okay. Or not HR. PR. I'm dumb. Sorry. But anyway, like, she just acts like a child throughout this whole thing. She sneaks out. She doesn't listen to nobody's rules. Korra's out here like just being judgmental towards Mako and Bolin for their past and the triads. I mean, she gets over it really quickly, but she's like, oh, you joined a gang? And it's like, well, yeah, they were homeless orphans, so yeah, they joined a gang, Korra. They needed to, protect themselves and feed themselves. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, she's never left the South Pole, so she doesn't know anything. Okay, she doesn't know anything. She's never struggled in her life, and that is one of the big issues. She doesn't know hardship. She will later come to know hardship, but we're in season 1. Okay, stay in the present. Korra does not know hardship, and that is a problem. How are you going to bring peace and balance back to the world when you've never struggled in chaos? I don't know. Balance, Yeah. Anyway, she's just hard-headed. Also, I cannot honestly believe that Tenzin let her face Amon that early on. Like, she clearly was not ready for that situation. I don't know why he didn't take her bending right. Well, okay, I do know why he didn't take her bending right there, but I will save that for later. But she definitely was not. She lacks discipline, just like the White Lotus said before she left the South Pole. She lacks just when they were exactly right. Amon, if there's one thing he's gonna do, it is plan A attack. Okay, let me save it for later. She has to learn. Korra's lesson that she has to learn in this season is that, life is not a spark. People play dirty. People come with tactics. Okay, plans. People, you don't, in real life, people don't play fair. She's only ever experienced fighting in a controlled environment. And so she thinks that if she just attacks as hard as she can head on, that's how she wins the sparring match, right? That's not how you win in real life. Sometimes you need to wait. And I feel like she learns that lesson a little bit later on in the season when Tenzin tells her to wait for reinforcements to come try to take back Republic City. So I think that she starts to learn that lesson, but I don't think it's fully solidified in her. I also really enjoy how they allow her to break down this season. It's really powerful, I think, that they show that side of her, because I don't feel like we really saw. I mean, besides when Aang went back home and realized that he was the last Airbender, we never saw him really be vulnerable again until the last season, like right before he face the Fire Lord, and he was getting anxious and having nightmares and staying up all night and stuff like that. So, but we see Korra break down really early on, and she admits to Tenzin that she's scared, which I think is a very powerful character development. Choked on that, which I think is a very powerful character development moment for Korra in this season. Like, she's allowing herself to feel fear and to be afraid and to lean on others for support, which is something that she does struggle with. Korra struggles with showing her vulnerable side. But I thought it was a very sweet moment, and it shows that, you know, the depth of Korra and Tenzin's relationship. Really, like, they really care for each other. I feel like Tenzin thinks of Korra as one of his children, honestly. Also, Korra offering Asami a place to stay after the whole issue with her father, I think really shows that she is mature in some ways. You know, I feel like that they never pin the girls against each other. They're always very nice and kind and considerate towards each other, which I think is a very important lesson, because, you know, this is a kid's show, and we don't be doing that petty over men. It's what? No. Anyway. And also, I think Korra starts to grow spiritually in this season, as well, as evidenced by, you know, she finally connects to Aang and allows Aang to, like, use his past experience to give her allows Aang's past experience to give her not the answer to the problem, but guidance, which is exactly what the Avatar spirit is there for. So that way you have these generations upon generations upon generations of experience, and that's kind of part of what makes the Avatar, you know, the Avatar. Sorry, I don't think I had to explain that to you guys. I'm assuming you've watched the show if you clicked on this video. Sorry. I should put a spoiler alert. I'll put a spoiler alert. On to Beifong. Okay, I actually really like Beifong character. I know she's kind of grouchy, but, like, so Toph was grouchy, Toph was great. She's Toph's daughter, like, staple. Anyway, Beifong is, like, really not here for Korra's mess too, which I really appreciate, because Korra needs somebody that's going to hold her accountable. And it's not that Tenzin doesn't hold her accountable, it's that Beifong holds her accountable in different ways. She does not put Korra on this pedestal, and neither does Tenzin. You know what I'm saying. Like, Korra gets a different kind of disciplinary authority figure through Beifong than she gets with Tenzin. She gets, like, the more and do better, challenge yourself. Like, that's what I really appreciate about Beifong. And she's like, listen, like, she tells Korra at one point, you know, you have done nothing to deserve this. I think if they were at this party, whoa, Charlotte was throwing a party for something. Anyway, and Len walks up to her and is like, you did nothing. Don't get it twisted. You've done nothing to deserve this. And I'm like, you know, she's kind of right. I mean, at that point, Korra had done literally nothing except for, oh, my neighbor has another baby. Sorry, I just saw my neighbor walk into his backyard, and his baby's in his arms. Oh, she did have it. That's cute. Anyway, what was I talking about? Anyway, Korra hadn't done anything besides save Bolin at that point, but don't get it twisted, I love Bolin. So that's great, but other than that, she hadn't done anything for anybody. She kind of just, you know, was making a mess in the city, causing problems, sneaking out, being a delinquent, you know. I think Lynn does respect Korra, though, and definitely grows to respect her as she sees how good of a fighter she is and how dedicated she is to her craft of bending, you know. Like, Korra does train, Korra does practice different strategies, even in the gym with the boys. Like she's a great fighter. She's an athletic avatar, and I think that is one of her many strengths. This is not a Korra hate club. I'm not. I'm just saying. I know. I'm sorry. Anyway, also the scene where Lynn metal bends the airship. Ooh. I'm not gonna do those kind of words on this channel because maybe I'll get monetized. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I mean, manifest, you know? Speak it into existence. Probably speak it into positive thinking. Alright. Next we have my baby, Bolin. Bolin and a wife beater. Roll the Bolin fan cam. I don't know what else you want me to say. He doesn't, I mean, Bolin doesn't have a lot of character development in this first season, I will say that. But that's not his fault. That's not his fault, okay. But he is definitely, like, people always say, no. Mako? Really? I'm not seeing it. Anyway, but so one stupid thing Bolin does is, why would you go rejoin the Triple Dance? I know why, but Bolin, good gracious, men gonna men though, you know, at the end of the day, and it's a shame, but I still let him know. Okay, and now we're gonna talk about Mako. I like Mako. It's not that I don't like Mako. Just because I like Bolin more doesn't mean that I don't like Mako. Okay. I just want to put that out. He is just like a real typical guy. He's really annoying. All these mixed signals that he's sending to Korra are just ridiculous, if you ask me. But I mean, he doesn't know any better. It's a lot of chromosome. Doing your brows and talking is kind of hard. I don't know how these girls be doing it. Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. One thing about Mako is, though, he always is able to admit when he's wrong, which I really appreciate about him. Like, when he realized that he was wrong about Asami's dad, he immediately, was apologetic towards Korra and was like, okay, well, we know what we gotta do. Let's get it done. It's time to boss up. And I appreciate that about him. Like, he's easily able to accept when he's wrong about things. Asami. I don't know what you guys want me to say. Her whole storyline revolves around her dad, not even really just in this season, but her whole character arc is about her father. And so I feel like that's one of my qualms, I guess, with the writers, is that they should have gave Asami a little bit more. All she gets is the story arc with her dad and her relationship with Mako. That's pretty sad if you ask me. I don't know why this show doesn't have more likable female characters. It seems like, I mean, there are likable female characters in the show, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. But women are allowed to be dynamic, but Asami's not dynamic. She's yeah, she's nice. She doesn't flaunt her wealth. But other than that, I mean, she's a writer, so that's great, I guess. good love a writer. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Alright, so now we get into the villains. Alright, so since we just talked about Asami, let's talk about Asami's dad. I don't know about y'all, but it's pretty obvious that he was definitely gonna end up being the villain, if not one of the villains. Because I mean, what overtly rich man? Sorry. Yeah. But anyway, okay, so like his motivation makes sense. Like I get it. Your wife died at the hands of benders, and now you must seek revenge against the evil benders that took your love and your wife and the mother of your child away from you. Like that makes sense at all. But also, like, he's a man of technology, and you think that he would realize that, like, benders are kind of the origins of a lot of the technological revolutions that happened in this universe. Like, in Avatar: Last Airbender, they invented the war balloons with the firebenders and the lid, and they also did the mail system in Bossy Say. Earthbenders sending like the mail and stuff through that like long pathways. You know what I'm talking about. You watched it again. You watched it. So like I don't know. You would think he would have a little bit more of an appreciation for bending, but maybe it's because they have electricity now. And so he's like, we don't need these guys anymore, you know? We don't need these people. We can just do this and that'll be fine. Oh, another thing about him, he was like straight up gonna kill Asami. Like, no wonder, I mean, really? You were really gonna, your own daughter? That's crazy. Anyway, moving on. Tarlock, he's like the pretty boy villain. He's kind of annoying. It is also pretty obvious that he's gonna be a villain because like why else is he trying to bribe the Avatar? Like why else is he so obsessed with getting her on his side and on his task force? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Why anybody would think that he wasn't available. Pretty sad. But one of the most beautiful scenes in this whole show is a scene, you know, where roll the clip.
It will be just like the good old days.
It is also kind of ambitious that he like thought that he could just like kidnap the Avatar and like that was gonna work. I mean, I get that he's like a bloodbender and all, but like I don't know. It seemed like, of course, someone was gonna come looking for her. Like, what do you mean? I don't know. Someone was gonna recognize her. She was gonna escape. Like, something was gonna happen. It was not gonna be good for him. So I don't know why he thought he could get away with something like that. But I guess that's villains. Like, you know, like they really think they can just do whatever they want. Okay, so Amon or Peloton. Again, his motivations, they make sense, I guess. Like, bending is the source of evil because he was pretty much abused by his father. I mean, they both were, so it makes sense that he is like that, but also, like, you're using... I mean, okay, yeah. I guess it makes sense. I'll give it to him. It makes sense. It does. It does. It does make sense, okay? Anyway, I don't like how they don't really explain how he's able to um, take people's bending away. Like, I get it that he is a bloodbender, and I guess he's like blocking their chakras or whatever, but as far as we know before this, Aang was the only person that was ever able to do that. And Aang is the avatar, so it makes sense. Like, he has like this deep spiritual connection. He's the bridge between the worlds. It doesn't really make sense to me that you're just able to become a really, really, really good bloodbender and use that to take people's bending away, and it's not healable. Like, Katara couldn't do anything about it? I don't know. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But at least, Korra gets her stuff back. Again, if there's one thing he knows how to do, it's plan. He's a strategizer. He's a planner. He executes. Like, how he took over the city was literally genius. Like, it made perfect sense. Like, he blows up things, sends people in, kidnaps the guys. It makes sense. Like, I don't know. It just made. I think that he was a really good villain. He put the. It's also smart of him that he put the paint on his face, because wouldn't that be like kind of a dumb reason to get found out? Like, you're telling everybody that you have this tragic backstory where you were burned by a firebender and ain't no scar under your mask. Like, that would have been kind of stupid. So good for him for doing that. So my overall opinions of this season are that I think it's actually a pretty good intro season. Like, some of the characters are a little bit flat, but it's season 1. We don't have time to explain everybody. I'll cut them some slack on that part. All right. So I really do understand why Elaine doesn't get more character time in this season. Freaking notifications. I really enjoy the way that they have incorporated technology into this new era of the Airbender. I think that they did a really seamless introduction of the idea of technology and electricity into this world, and it makes sense. Like, it's not too much. Like, I know it's like kind of like the 20s, but it makes sense from where we were. They didn't do like a whole jump. I feel like if they would have taken it any more modern, it would have been kind of out of place, but also like they're following the chronological time order, so it makes sense where technology was at in this series based upon the time that we know Aang happened, the last Airbender happened. Okay. I also really love pro bending. I really enjoyed the idea of bending as a sport. I guess you could make the argument that it has become less sacred that way, but I don't think that that's like a problem. Like, I don't think that all forms of bending need to be like I don't think that all forms of bending need to be like so they don't need to. You don't need to do all that. It's fine. Just relax. Let the kids have their fun. It's like sports, Sports. Also, like, the animation in this series is just beautiful. Roll the leaf scene. Beautiful animation. 10 out of 10. The Avatar had really good animation. Last Airbender had really good animation too. But we look back at it now, I think this is from originally 2005. We look back at it now and it's like, ooh, but at the time, do you remember that? Do you remember that? It was good animation. Oh, also something that I did not say is that I really love Chinchun's kids. I think his grandkids are so cute. Like they're all so like him in different ways. But again in this first season they don't really have a lot of character development. But I'll talk about them more in depth in like later videos again. Like, we get to know them a little bit more. But I love them all, of course. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching my video. I'm gonna make videos about the other seasons as well, and I also saw this thread on Twitter. It's like an Avatar versus thread, and they kind of intermingle the characters from this season of Legend of Korra. This world of Legend of Korra and the world of Aang and his friends. So I'm gonna do that probably for a video too. So stick around if you want to hear me talk about this some more. I'll probably talk about other things as well. Like I don't have an exact set plan, but I just want to talk about things that interest me and do my makeup. So I know I just kind of did like a natural beat this time because this video wasn't that long, but maybe I'll do. If I talk about more things more in depth or more in length, maybe I'll do like a little moment for some eyeshadow or some graphic liner or something like that. I'm just gonna put some gloss on my lips and call it a day. Actually, it's quarantine. I'm not going anywhere. I don't need all that. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in.